When people talk about nutrition, they often obsess over protein, carbs, fats, calories, and weight loss. But what if low energy, poor immunity, weak concentration, bad sleep, slow recovery, hair loss, cramps, and brain fog was sometimes not a calorie problem at all? What if the issue was tiny nutrients needed in tiny amounts with huge effects? These are your micronutrients. Today we'll cover what they are, the major types, why deficiency is common, symptoms to watch out for, best food sources, supplements, and how to optimize them intelligently, because small things often run the whole machine. So what are they? Micronutrients are nutrients your body needs in small amounts, but they are essential for normal function. Unlike protein, carbs, and fats, which provide calories, micronutrients mainly help provide efficient processing of different elements of your body function. Think of them as mechanics, engineers, and electricians of the body. Your two major groups of micronutrients are vitamins and minerals. Vitamins are your organic compounds, and minerals are your inorganic compounds. As you can see, there are four fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, and the rest are all water-soluble. So why are micronutrients important? Micronutrients are important because they provide without energy, without kilojoules, without calories. Tiredness does not always equal under eating. Deficiencies of micronutrients can impair your body systems. For example, iron deficiency can cause fatigue, anemia, B12 deficiency, brain fog, slower cognition. Many micronutrients support neurotransmitters, sleep, stress, and cognition. They also help with your immunity. Your immune cells rely on adequate nutrient delivery, for example, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and selenium. Some vitamins also help provide the precursors to things like NAD, glutathione, NAC, that are antioxidants. Deficiencies can also lead to cramps, low endurance, prolonged recovery, and disrupted sleep. So they're also important for recovery and performance, especially in athletes. So which are the ones that people often talk about? They often talk about vitamin D for bone health, immunity, and muscle contraction. The low levels of vitamin D are common in indoor lifestyles, those with darker skin in low sun areas, such as in the UK, people who overuse sunscreen or sunscreen with too high of an SPF, and then also obesity, because the larger you are, the more surface you have, the more of a vitamin you need to function optimally. Magnesium is also an important one, good for sleep, muscle relaxation, glucose control, and blood pressure. So what are some good sources of these two? Vitamin D, sun exposure. Your skin makes vitamin D through sun exposure. Fatty fish like salmon, eggs, and then supplements. Magnesium, your dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, nuts and seeds, cocoa, and whole grains. Some of you may have perked up when I said cocoa. Yes, chocolate, especially dark chocolate, 70% and above cocoa, good sources of magnesium and also fiber. Iron, also important, needed for oxygen transport. Deficiency can cause fatigue, poor exercise tolerance, and as you can see, a high-risk group is pregnancy, those who menstruate, vegans, vegetarians, and endurance athletes. Um, the best form of iron, or the best source of iron, is red meat, because heme iron from animal sources is the most bioavailable form of iron. Then B12. Then vitamin B12 is needed for nerves and blood cells. Deficiency herein can cause fatigue, numbness, and tingling, and decrease memory retention. High risk groups of this: vegans, elderly, certain medications like chronic PPI use. That's for those of you who have heartburn, and chronic metformin use as well. Zinc, important for immunity, wound healing, testosterone production, taste and smell. Then potassium supports blood pressure, muscle function, and nerve signaling. So how do deficiencies happen? Deficiencies are often multifactorial. There's hardly ever just one cause for it. But the most common causes are poor diet quality. As you can see, diet high in ultra-processed foods like standard American diet. Diets with not a very high variation of food types and food groups. Extreme diets like keto, vegan, carnivore. And then, sorry, my apologies, malabsorption. Obviously, you'll be deficient if you're not absorbing it properly. Gut disorders, recent surgery, chronic diarrhea, high demand states such as pregnancy, illness can also cause vitamin deficiencies. And then, like we said earlier, obesity, higher body surface area, means more nutrients are needed for optimal function. So what about supplements? They can be helpful and they can also be detrimental. Ideally, you should get blood work to check what you're deficient in before randomly taking a supplement. Supplementing is good when there's a proven deficiency, you're in a high-risk group, you have periods of increased demand, or you have a poor diet. For example, many vegans benefit from a B12 supplement. Supplementing is dumb when you do random mega dosing, taking a cocktail of things because some random guy on TikTok said so, then assuming that natural is safe. Now, the random mega dosing is especially prevalent in vitamin D. Because vitamin D is fat soluble, it means it gets stored in your body. So people who chronically consume high levels of vitamin D through supplements can get vitamin D toxicity. If you're going to take a vitamin D supplement, try to stick to 1000 to 3000 IU per day. Once you get to the 4000 to 5000 IU per day mark, your risk of toxicity increases. So how to get most of them naturally? Macronutrients give you fuel. Micronutrients make the engine run. If you feel off, flat, tired, foggy, slow, or run down, sometimes the answer isn't more caffeine, it's better nutrition. Small nutrients, big impact. So, easy way, simply eat a variety of food groups. Eat fruits, eat vegetables, eat carbs. Rotate your protein sources. Maybe Monday to Tuesday you have chicken and turkey. Thursday, Friday you have beef, fish. Yeah, throw in some plant sources too, like tofu, soy, very important. And then think Skittles. Eat a variety of colors. Green foods, red foods, yellow foods, orange foods, purple foods. The more like a rainbow your plate looks, 9 times out of 10, the better nutrition you get from it. Yeah, thank you for listening. That is pretty much everything to know about what micronutrients are and what they do. The next few videos will go a bit deeper into the different micronutrients like vitamins and minerals and what falls into those various categories.